Home for the Holidays is a really moving film. This was released in 2005. It's directed by Richard Compton and written by Keith Shaw, and this stars Sean Young as Martha. And at the very beginning of the film, there is an accident, and the parents of three young children sadly pass away. So their Aunt Martha takes them in. But unfortunately, it's not as easy as that. She has to go through an assessment to make sure that she's actually suitable for looking after the children. I have a great interest in foster care and the foster care system. So that part of the narrative really appealed to me. And the whole film is basically a roller coaster of Martha working with social services to try and make everything the way it needs to be for the children, but obviously with some roadblocks along the way. It's a very emotional film. And it's very moving. It's very well done. Not that much happens, but because the emotions are right on the surface the entire time, it's still a really intense watch, and I found it to be really enjoyable for the right reasons and also really emotional as well. I don't think it's a completely predictable film. There are things in this that I perhaps hadn't expected to happen, and that meant that I was, constantly wondering what was going to happen next. It isn't the most Christmassy film. In fact, there's barely any Christmas in it. There is a little bit of Christmas, but if you're looking for a film that's very festive or very Christmassy, this isn't it. But it is otherwise a really moving, emotional film with a great narrative. It's very clear to see how difficult this time was for Martha, not just because she'd obviously lost her relatives, but because she doesn't know if they're going to allow her to continue looking after the children. Meanwhile, she's also getting to grips with actually caring for the children because she doesn't have children of her own. It's not something she's used to. Everything is completely up in the air, and I think they did a really great job with it. Home for the Holidays is a really moving film, and one that I found to be a really heartwarming experience and ultimately a film that I enjoyed.